Well, firstly, good evening, good afternoon to everybody out there. You know, even though my profession requires me to be a hero, I think these guys out here, each one of you are real life heroes, including you, Afrin.
Thank you very much.
I mean, doing what you do, helping so many people transform their lives, putting them before you. I mean that requires. That's something special. I mean, you guys are definitely the real heroes.
Thank you.
But coming back to your question,
Yeah. What
drives me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Ever since I was a child, really, I've had this innate drive in me to always do better, to succeed, to win. I've been very competitive growing up. For example, as far back as I can remember, it started with my sister. We used to compete with each other and say, hey, no, mom likes me more, dad likes me more. I can eat more than you. I can run faster than you. So whatever little thing, it all started from my childhood. It was just competition. With eventually, it became competition with myself as I grew up and matured a little bit. What I mean by that is every day I try and better myself in that I ask myself a question when I wake up. So what is it today that I'm going to do to get better than I was yesterday? If I don't have an answer to that question before I sleep, that means my day hasn't been productive. Every day I've got to, if there's another Tiger Shroff here standing in front of me, I would want to dance better than him. I would want to look better than him. I want to probably kick higher than him. Competition is something that drives me. I'm very insecure. That insecurity, that fear is not a bad thing. It's something that I feed on. It's something that takes me to the next level.
Look, I say to these people sometimes that my negativity in my mind actually drives you sometimes, doesn't it?
Right.
That you're thinking to yourself, you know what? If I can't do something, then I must do something.
I'm motivated by fear. Fear is my best friend. I know people say, oh, fear shouldn't exist, but I think, if for me, I'm speaking from my personal experience, if I wasn't scared of jumping from one building to another in an action sequence for one of my films, I probably wouldn't get a certain reaction from the audience while watching that film, or I probably wouldn't get that self-satisfaction.
I think that vulnerability is also powerful, right?
Absolutely.
You know that you can break, but then your quest to look. A lot of these guys, for example, their coaches, I encourage them, why don't you become speakers? Go out there and do like you're speaking right now. And the biggest problem
right now, I'm so scared to talk in front of all you guys because this is I don't know what I can teach you guys. You guys are the coaches out there, not me.
No, trust me. I like I was saying, I remember. I don't know if you remember. We were talking on one of the film sets once with Riddick, and I was asking you about your discipline, about your workout. You wake up at a certain time, you eat a certain food, you do a certain workout. It's kind of regimed, right?
Yes, it's a good thing.
It's a great thing.
It's a good thing to be disciplined. I mean, that's a no-brainer. I'm sure you guys know that.
That's it. There's a big challenge of that.
What's more important is to apply that discipline, not only to. Yeah, thank you. Not only to. I mean, you can apply that discipline to everything. It could be health, it could be wellness, it could be your careers, your respective careers. For me, growing up, I always wanted to be an athlete. I was very bad at academics. I was always this. Shouldn't be saying this, but I never really cared much for education. What mattered to me was, I used to only go to school to play sports, and because I was gifted physically, I thought, I'm getting attention because I'm the best player on my team, and I think that's what sort of drove me to go to school to get better at my academics, better in my sports. But that sports discipline eventually translated into my career years later. So I think like an athlete, even as an actor.
Wow.
And I think that's sort of helped me, So I think discipline is important for any field really.
Thank you.
To reach somewhere. So I'm very clear in my head what my blueprint is, what I want to be, what I want to do in life, and I'll take just about any route to get there. I mean, if you ask me to climb Mount Everest, 10 times in a day, even though that's impossible, I'll convince myself that I can do that just to get to my destination.
Wow.
Well, this is a cliche advice, but I don't know if any of you have applied this yet. But trust me, it works because I've used this on myself, and whatever little I've achieved today is an absolute blessing for me, and I credit it all to there shouldn't be a plan A if there's a plan B. It's as simple as that. There shouldn't be a plan A if there's a plan B. If you have a backup, if you're going to say, "Oh, I want to be an actor. I want to be a great actor," but if it doesn't work out, I don't mind being an assistant director and just watching the actors behind the camera. If that is your mindset going in, then you're planning to fail. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. It's as simple as that.
So what about the other approach? Let's say, for example, you're going in one direction and it doesn't work. So what do? You go to you try another approach, right? And you try another approach until you get to what you want.
I mean, absolutely. And these different avenues to get to your destination, that's absolutely applicable. I mean, you can always find different ways to your direction, but there's one thing that is the same in all these avenues and all these roads, and that is your will to get there. That is the hard work you put in. There's no shortcut to success, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
I set short-term goals for myself. I set long-term goals for myself. But I want to work so hard that I want those long-term goals to become short-term goals. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
For example, when I became an actor, I said, यार मुझे ऋतिक रोशन की तरह डांस करना है. I want to dance like ऋतिक रोशन. 3-4 years later, I'm dancing next to Hrithik Roshan in the song you guys just played.
Yeah.
That's how that for me at that time was a long-term goal. But 3 years isn't that long, if you think about it.
Absolutely.
When you're an aspiring actor, when you're struggling, when you're if you're talking about my personal struggle, getting out of my father's shadow, he's also a respected star. So how do I separate myself from him? How do I convince people कि यार मैं सिर्फ जैकी श्रॉफ का बेटा नहीं हूँ, मैं टाइगर श्रॉफ हूँ. जैकी श्रॉफ टाइगर श्रॉफ का डैड है.
Yeah.
How do I make that happen? So that for me was another challenge.
Oh, it's a big one.
And then the biggest challenge, of course, standing next to Hrithik Roshan and trying to keep up with him, trying to dance with him, was a different journey.
Unfortunately, and also you managed to have a movie with him. Like,
exactly.
And what a movie!
Yeah.
Like superb. I mean, that must have been like a
that was a thing that I checked off on my to-do list.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important to set these goals for yourself. Write whatever thoughts you have. Speak to yourself. Send those thoughts out to the universe. I know you guys know this already. I don't want to preach, but these words, your words manifest into reality. Be careful of what you say. Choose your words wisely. Stay away from words like can't, don't, no. Don't negate. Don't cancel out things. I am going to. I'm getting there. I will. I can. Not I may. I can.
Tiger, you got to become a motivational speaker, man. You're that good.
I'm just going to tell you guys what's helped me.
It's so cool.
Meri fatti, I can't talk.
Oh, you do so well.
So, like, a lot of good things happens in your life, but sometimes when your movie flops, very low state, and again you said that you are son of a great star. So at that particular moment, how you cope up with all the things going around, social media, all those news and all. So at that particular, how you take yourself and ready for the next thing?
That's a great question. So initially that used to just hit me like an earthquake, like a tsunami, and I used to feel like it's the end of the world. I I used to feel like, yeah, why me? I worked so hard. Why me? Why did my film not work? Eventually, as I progressed a little bit in my career, I thought about whenever you're in doubt, you have to remember why you started. Okay? Whenever you're in doubt, you remember why you started. Is this enough a reason for me to stop? What is my objective? What is my main goal? What is the incentive behind all this? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Is that enough reason for me to stop? No, I just keep moving forward, no matter how hard. The journey is not easy. There are going to be ups and downs. It's not going to be like this for everybody. But you've just got to keep the will. You've got to keep that self-belief. You've got to know that you are different from me. You are better than me at something. I'm better than you. Everybody out here is special in his or her own way. Okay? Thank you. But things like this shouldn't matter. So basically, I'm like a racehorse really, and I just see the finish line in front of me. I do my job, and then all the external factors decide whether that film works or not. And at the end of the day, there are higher forces as well working. Whether that's energy, whether that's if you're spiritual with God, it's a lot of factors. I do.
Yeah, thank you very, very much.
Bye everyone. Have a nice evening. Bye bye. See you.